Invited speakers or folks, one of the 14? Yeah, I've always kind of surprised that farming and Scott's Buttons actually have a building. But that county hasn't been able to go to the university college. You know, this church is
waiting for the people who have not flown to arrive. Hi, Dorothy Ramsey. We're gathering people if the live stream is on, so they'll be here momentarily. There's happiness and exaltation in the gallery. Yeah, well, we should get going.
Oscar already did the bell.
Yeah, he did it once. It's like noise is off. We'll just keep doing the bell until everybody comes back. Yeah, they're grown-ups.
Is that mic really?
It is on, I think. Can you all hear me? No. I'm just a projector. Yes.
Turn it on.
Turn it on. It is on. All right, you probably wondered what we were saying if you're on the live stream. So I guess let's just begin. I'm just so moved by that bridging ceremony. I don't know how you're all doing, but it's like when we're constantly asked that question of why do we belong to this church, it was like we couldn't hear it better than that. So the announcement has been made in the gallery. So thanks for staying with us this morning. I actually have a script because I'm not as facile as those young people who could get up there without a script. So thanks for staying with us. I'm Judy Hart. I'm the Vice President of your Board of Trustees. This town hall meeting is designed to help you understand what will be presented for vote and for consideration at our spring 2022 congregational meeting, which will be held on May 22nd. So for those of you newer to the church, and there are new people here in the room, we have 2 congregational meetings per year, one in May, and that's called the spring congregational meeting, and one in December, and that's called the winter congregational meeting. And we have these 2 meetings. At these 2 meetings, members of our church get to exercise the democratic process to elect fellow members to lay leadership positions like the Board of Trustees. We approve the church budget for the upcoming calendar year, and then we do other important things like decide the Share the Plate partners for the next year. And I think some of you don't know what Share the Plate partners are. We identified 10 organizations, nonprofit organizations in Lincoln that we have them come and speak to us and talk to us about their organizations, and then we pass the plate, and any money that's collected during that service goes to those nonprofit organizations. We also try to have relationships with those community partners throughout the year. So I hope that helps with Share the Plate. So this town hall is also designed to give you space to consider and ask questions about the matters that we'll be voting on. And I'm going to talk about the voting procedure later in this town hall. Again, the congregational meeting is on May 22nd. It will be in person and on live streamed. So that's what's going to affect the voting, is that there's 2 platforms at one time. So for those of you watching on YouTube, please feel free to, if you have any questions, to put them in the live chat, and we'll do our best to answer them. And for those of you in the room, if you have a question, if you'll just raise your hand, we will bring a microphone to you. And the reason why we bring the microphone to you is so that people on the live stream can hear your question. Okay? So finally, I ask that you give me and everyone else in this room the grace to make mistakes, because we are fallible, and we would like you to embrace our imperfections and our humanity as we talk together today. So, any questions about that so far? Share the Plate, congregational meetings. Good. All right, so first thing we need to address is we're going to read the list of nominees for the Share the Plate for our next church year. And Joellen Polzine, who's a fellow trustee of the church, she's going to come and read the list. Don't get too worried if you don't know these organizations. You can go online to, these are all listed in the governance section of the website. So I'll say that again if you say, I don't remember where to find these names, but come on up.
Okay, the Foundation for Lincoln Public Schools.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Can you read the first part that says?
Okay, yeah, sorry. Okay, these nominations are in the order for which they were received. So the first one received was the Foundation for Lincoln Public Schools, Echo Collective, Planned Parenthood, Open Harvest, Morning Hope, Lincoln Indian Center. This next one, this is a Lakota Sioux name, so I can't pronounce it. It's a Blue Heron Tiaspaye. Do you know how to say it? Thank you.
Say that again?
Tiospaye. Friendship Home, Clyde Malone Community Center, the NAACP Lincoln Branch Scholarship Fund, Center for People in Need, the Food Bank of Lincoln, the Center for Legal Immigration Assistance, Community Crops, Everett Free Grocery Program, Fresh Start, Little Free Pantries, Out Nebraska, Lincoln Literacy, Lutheran Family Services, Nebraska Religious Council for Reproductive Freedom, Asian Community and Cultural Center, Voices of Hope, Willie's Underwear Project. And there's 24 of these. So obviously, what do we choose, 10? Yeah, we choose 10. So you might want to start thinking about this and make your decision before you come to vote. Thank you.
Yeah, the voting is going to happen after the congregational meeting, so you'll have some time to look these up. Again, there's a listing of all of these organizations, and I would assume a link to their website so that you can find out all about these organizations. And Oscar, you did a great job by telling us that there weren't any nominations a couple of weeks ago, and now there's 24. But I don't know about you, but isn't that amazing? All of the good work that those organizations are doing, it's going to be hard to pick the 10. But our hope is that it's not just lip service, that we actually pick those 10 and then find out what they do in our community and support them in their work. I think that's how we need to widen our circle, is give them money and then give them partnerships. So that was off script. But you know what? I'm always amazed when people just get up and talk from their heart. You know, and I'm an actor, and I usually have rehearsal time to figure out how to get the words off the page into my heart. But so I always get kind of freeze up when I have to just go from a script. So thank you. Please forgiveness and grace. Thank you. Next we have Carol Kendrick, who's going to come up. She's part of the nominations committee. And can you tell us about the nominations committee when you come up? Because there are new people in the room, and I don't think everybody understands what that is. And there might be new people on the live stream also. But Carol's going to tell us about the candidates who for the open board of trustees positions.
Yes, thanks, Judy. I am a member of the nominating committee, and there are 5 of us, 2 elected at a time, and I'm not sure how the 5th one comes in, but 2, and 1, Kathy says. And we're, I can't think of the word, but we select members that will be elected to the Board of Trustees openings. And the openings on the council, the director of the council. And if you are here today as a candidate, I'll call your name and I'd like you to come to the front so that the people on the live stream can see you. And if anyone has questions, they can ask them after that time. And there will be a chance, I think, for you to speak at the congregational meeting. But we just want people to get familiar with your face today. So is Melody Vaccaro here today? I didn't see her. And Allison Hope Starr, Peg Pelter, Michelle Howard, and Dorothy Ramsey. Thanks to all of you that are here today and that aren't for agreeing to run for these positions. And we're looking forward to working with you in the future. Thank you. I think so.
Do you know that everybody volunteers for this? We are a nonprofit organization, and we really have to have a board as part of our ability to be a nonprofit. We have to have a board. So it's just amazing that we constantly have people who are willing to step forward and be candidates for this board of trustees. Yeah. Oh, how many positions are open on the board? There are 3. How many people are on the board? 9, right? Oh, wait, Oscar's saying maybe.
There are 9 elected members of the board.
Yeah.
Can anybody name the ex officio members of the board? Treasurer, immediate past president, minister. So those are the board is 12 people, 9 of whom are voting.
Carol, hold on, Carol. Oscar, can you bring or come up here and ask the question? You're right there. Yeah, hop in.
The members are all listed on our website with the descriptions of what they hope for our church in the future and some of their personal interests. So if you want to look those up, they should all be on our website. Thank you.
Yeah, and I think there's a little description of each candidate. So. Oh, and program council chair, Karen Hafer jumped into the room to say that because Karen is at every board meeting. So, yes, Karen Hafer is currently the program council chair. Yeah. So that might be, does everybody understand how that works? We are not a top-down organization. We are we have the program council and the board working together with the minister and the congregation to be a solid organization. Instead of the minister telling us what to do and then we follow that. It's a much more democratic process, which means we need lots of people, right? And lots of people who are willing to step up and chair different committees. So thanks, Carol, that was great. Any questions about the 3 open positions for the Board of Trustees? Yeah, here's a question. Oh, Martha, go ahead.
Can you tell us the 3 people that are about to retire from the board?
So Lori Stratman, who's the president, will be moving out. Keith McGuffey he will be leaving the board. And Tanya High? Oh, Trevor. Yeah, and Trevor Jones will be leaving. So then we need to fill those 3 positions. So any other questions? Anything from the, you'll check and see if there's anything from the live stream. Okay. There's also blurbs on all of the candidates in the newsletter, which means read the newsletter, for crying out loud. Yeah, we question that all the time. Who's reading that newsletter? We should just plant a question, right? And like maybe everybody who reads the newsletter, show up with something on Sunday, and then we'll know. But that might be exclusionary, perhaps. I don't know. But yeah, please read the newsletter. You'll find out everything you need to know that's happening right now. So, all right, back to the script. The next order of business is to review the minutes from the spring 2021 and the winter 2021 congregational meetings. But I don't see Tanya. So,
No, and we've actually just gotten the winter minutes like in the last 24 hours.
Okay.
So this may be a thing that we spend time on the next town hall rather than this one.
All right, we'll talk about those meetings, but we all have to vote to accept them. They go into our archives, and they tell the history of this remarkable organization. That's over 150 years old, which you gotta accept those meetings to move forward. So we'll look at those meeting notes at the next town hall. So, all right, the next item is that the 2022 General Assembly for the UUA, that's the Unitarian Universalist Association. It's the big organization that we belong to. It's coming up really soon, and our church is eligible to have up to 6 delegates to vote on important issues at the General Assembly. So the General Assembly is, you can attend virtually or in person this year. So you have options of how you can attend. Is anybody in this room registered for? Yep. So there are 5 of us right now registered. Are you going in person, Oscar? Yes. Oscar and Joe Ellen will be there in person. Chelsea, Allison, are you going in person or? So 3 of us are virtual. So that means we can watch it online. So folks, so we can have up to 6 delegates at the assembly. So folks who would like to serve as a delegate, you don't have to go. So that's the really thing that's happening right now. If you're there, you can be a delegate or not. But we have the opportunity this year, if you're interested in being a delegate and have not registered, you could serve as a delegate for this church and only attend the business meetings of the UUA, and the registration fee would be waived. So if you're really interested in being a delegate and you say, I don't have any money and I really don't have a lot of time, you could still just go to the business meetings and vote on behalf of our church. If Oscar has something, yeah. Allison.
I just want everyone to know that there is funding available for young adults to go to GA. I don't remember if it's through the Young Adult Revival Network or what it is, but I can get people information for that if they fall in the 18 to 35 age range.
Anybody here? That's dangerous for me to say that. Thanks, Allison. That's great. Oscar, how will we go about letting young adults know? Would they just call the office?
Yes, call the office. If you're on live stream or here, call the office, email me, send me a Facebook message, contact Allison, contact Chelsea. Make your interest known, and we will find a way to get you pointed in the right direction.
Yeah, as you can see, having young voices on our behalf is the jet fuel we need to keep moving forward. So if anybody's interested in being a delegate and I confused you in any way, just talk to me or Oscar afterwards. We'd love to have your voice representing us at this national meeting. It's in Portland. Yeah. Oh, as opposed to Portland, Maine. Right. Yeah, it's in Portland, Oregon. So, all right. So I'm going to talk a minute here about any questions up to this point. Any questions out there, just put it in the live chat and we'll get to it in a second. There's a little bit of a delay from you typing to us seeing. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about the spring congregational meeting. It's going to happen at 11 o'clock following the service. We'll just try to keep going. The meeting will be formatted much like this one today, with in-person presence as well as the YouTube live stream. The items that we're going to be voting again are the approval of the temporary change in voting procedure. So since we have to have voting online, and I mean, there are people online and there are people in the room, we can't vote at the time of the meeting, right? So voting will happen after the meeting. We're going to vote, and we have to write a little procedural statement that says we're accepting voting online. So we're also voting on the approval of the meeting notes, the nominations of the Board of Trustees, and the Share the Plate nominees. So that's what we're going to be accomplishing at the congregational meeting. So we'll also hear reports from the minister. Woo! That was, the crowd goes wild. The treasurer, the program council chair, the director of religious growth and learning, and our music director. So the congregational meeting is the time when we get to hear all of the remarkable things that have happened in this church over this church year. We don't always hear it. I mean, so much happens, you know, not in this room. So much happens in this community that it just blows my mind. It must blow yours too, Oscar.
I'm in the process of putting together the annual report, which should have been done by today, but wasn't. But it's 10,000 words long, which is, and all of it is descriptions of things that we have done in different areas of the church. So we will have that hopefully by the next town hall, certainly by the congregational meeting, if you want to read the whole thing. Or, I'm being told I'm not in camera. We're also going to try and put together a shorter 2 to 3 page highlight report. So if you do not feel like reading the 40-page annual report, you can get the exciting parts. But yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, there's so much.
Yeah.
It's a great place to belong. You know, I used to belong to a theater company. Now I belong to a church, and I still belong to the theater company. But this is the place where we get to be ourselves and be quiet sometimes and be loud sometimes. And I just think that's remarkable. I think it's just a remarkable thing to have in our lives. So, all right, we're going to hear all those reports at the congregational meeting. Any questions about that? Yeah, Carol? Hold on just a second. For you in our listening.
What's the date of the congregational meeting?
The date of the congregational meeting is May 22nd, which would be a Sunday, right? It's going to start at 11 a.m., right after our service. There's another question in the room.
Can you or anybody talk a little bit more about the voting procedures as far as voting after the meeting goes, if you're in person, and how to vote after the meeting if you're online?
Yep, I'm just about to get to that place in my script. I got off topic, so you thought it was the end of the meeting, and it really wasn't. So the last thing that happens at the congregational meeting is the unsung UU is announced. So every year we like to celebrate an individual that went over and above their participation in this church by calling them the unsung hero. So has anybody in this room been an unsung hero? Oh my gosh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 people in this room who have been recognized as an unsung hero. I won't put you on the spot, but wow, that was like a revelatory moment when you all put your hands up. Okay, so how are we going to conduct the voting? There's some text here that I'm going to jump past. All right, how are we going to do the voting? We'll conduct our meeting, the congregational meeting, at 11 o'clock on Sunday, May 22nd. And right after the meeting, you'll receive an email from the church office with a link to a Google form, right? If that confuses anybody, I'll say it again. After the meeting, you'll receive an email from the church that has a link in it. If you click on that link, it will take you to the ballot, I guess is what we call it. So I recommend that you check the Realm account to make sure that your email is correct in the Realm account. Yep, and then you will, as soon as you fill out the ballot, it will go automatically to the church office when you click submit. Okay, you don't have to worry about copying and pasting. Just hit submit after you vote, and it will go. So remember, only those who've signed the membership book have voting privileges. That's one of the perks of being a member here. You will have 48 hours following the congregational meeting to submit your vote. For those of you who don't use a computer or want a paper ballot, the office might know who you are, but it would be really helpful if you want a paper ballot that you call the office and say, I'd like a paper ballot, right? And they'll send it to you or bring it to you or get it to you somehow. There's enough people here that could bring it if that's an issue. But if you're unsure if you'll receive one and you want one, just call the office. And I recommend doing that no later than May 15th so it reaches you in time to vote. Yeah, for those of you who are using a paper ballot, you can complete the ballot and send it to the church office, or you can call the church office and tell the staff what your votes are. So everybody should vote. All ballots, electronic or paper, are due to the church office no later than Tuesday, May 24th at 11 a.m. That's 48 hours after the end of our congregational meeting. Okay, so that's it. What questions, do you have any questions on the voting procedure or the time of the congregational meeting? We've had a little issue with that in the past, but we won't this year. So Martha has a question.
How much time does one have to vote after one receives this link?
48 hours. There's another question over here. Allison has a question. I love saying people's name out loud. It really helps me just connect in a deeper way.
Thank you, Judy.
Yeah, you're welcome, Allison.
So in terms of eligibility for voting, I know you said that you have to have signed the membership book.
Yep.
Is there also the requirement of the pledge or no?
Well, when you become a member, you make a promise to the church that you'll pledge something, whether it's $1 or $25, right? So the pledge is part of membership. Yeah, or $10,000 or $1 million. But so anybody who has signed the book understands that pledge agreement. So there's
you don't have to have paid your pledge this year in order to, or you do?
No, a pledge is a promise. It's a promise that happens during the calendar year, right? So our calendar, well, everybody's calendar year is, in this culture, I guess, everybody's calendar year is January to December. So the key is you just have to fulfill your promise of a pledge within that calendar year. Okay. If you haven't paid it yet, you're still a member.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, you've signed the book. You did the bridging ceremony, didn't you?
I did not.
Oh my gosh, did your sister?
Probably.
Yeah, I remember.
Now we're just having a personal conversation.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Sorry, it's the comedy hour here. All right, so we asked the questions. I think that's it, unless anybody else has any questions. We didn't get to see, could the candidates come back up here and say your name as we see your face? That's really important to me for name recognition. So could you come back up, Dorothy and Peg and Allison, and just say hello to everybody? But step into the, step into the,
I'm Allison. You've heard a lot from me this meeting today, but I'm honored to be running for the board, so thank you.
It would startle me a lot if somebody didn't know who I was as much as I've been up here. But I'm Dorothy Ramsey, and pleased to be serving you again if elected. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Peg Pelter, and I don't know, been around since '81, and just lurk about. And so anyway.
Thanks. Give them another round of applause. So Bert, who's another trustee, Board of Trustees member, he's sitting in the front row. He and I joined the board during the pandemic. So I think there were only 3 candidates that year, and we all, so I haven't been through that, the election process, so. Oh no, does that make me not, oh, never mind, no, I won't go there. So, all right, that's it for this town hall, unless anybody else has any questions, or anybody wants to come up here and celebrate why this is the most remarkable place to be. Yeah, oh, no. What a great invitation. Yeah, Harry. Oh my gosh, Harry just said on the 22nd, we're going to have our first end of the year video that we've had in 2 years. It's always so interesting to see the images that go with what we've been doing and celebrating all those people. So Oscar, do you want to say anything else in camera?
Yes, I will absolutely. I'm going to turn this off so I don't get feedback. So one thing that I do want to plug is that our affiliate community minister, Kimberly Debus, is coming out to visit. She's coming on Wednesday. This is really exciting because she was scheduled to come here in May of 2020. She was then scheduled to come here in August of 2021, which was the height of the Delta wave. And then we talked briefly about December of 2021, which was the height of the Omicron wave. So this is a much delayed visit, but she will be here on Wednesday. We're going to have a series of public events with her. She's going to lead a singing worship next Saturday night, the 14th. And then on the 15th, she's going to preach about the singing revolution. And we're actually going to incorporate some of the songs that we learned on Saturday night into that service on Sunday. Then on Tuesday, we'll have more of a direct educational thing. She's going to give a workshop on our hymnal. And then on Thursday night, we're going to have our second annual tent revival. The first annual tent revival, if you remember, was in October of 2019. But this will be our second one, and we hope that it is an annual event. And Kimberly will be participating in that, along with Bob, along with the A Street Band, along with me. It is a whole thing that we have been talking about doing now for a year and a half. One of the reasons that this is really exciting is that 4 years ago, Kimberly and I were at General Assembly in Spokane, sitting on a patio talking about, I had just started this new ministry in Lincoln, and she was launching her business as a worship consultant. And the denomination requires that folks who have a business like she does affiliate with a community, a Unitarian Universalist church. And 4 years ago, 5 years ago now, we said, well, why don't you affiliate with Lincoln? Like, we've worked together. We worked on Long Island together for a couple years. And it's the 21st century, and you don't need to affiliate with a church right next to you. And so we have for 4 years. She's mostly been remote during this time. But in the same time, Kimberly Debus, who has a business doing worship consulting, where she is developing ideas of how you do worship in the 21st century, incorporating different ways of worship, different ways of including people online and in person. She started that work in 2018, and she has become one of the most sought after voices in Unitarian Universalism as pertains to congregational worship. That part's really important to know. She runs workshops everywhere, across the country and across the world. She just did a keynote for the English Unitarians about 6 months ago. And in every one of those appearances, the first line of her bio is, the Reverend Kimberly Debus is the affiliated community minister of the Unitarian Church of Lincoln. And so I know that relationship, Kimberly knows that relationship, and we've been through several years of the pandemic. So this visit is really an intent, getting the congregation to know that relationship, because it's exciting and important. And it's a wonderful thing that we are able to do together. So come to all the stuff next week. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yes. So the Saturday visit, the Saturday singing event, she's called it something like Friends Singing and Deviled Eggs. So I don't know if you all remember this, but 4 years ago, this congregation ordained me. And yeah, well, I didn't talk about this part much at the time, but I am not a big fan of deviled eggs. But somehow it got into the air that I really liked deviled eggs. So at the potluck for the ordination, there were like 12 trays of different kinds of deviled eggs. Oh, no. So my colleagues who are here have mercilessly brought that up for 5 years, including this. Kimberly submitted this name for a workshop on Saturday night with a potluck. So come on Saturday night, bring a tray of whatever your favorite Midwestern food item is. And it'll be fun. It's not going to be a formal potluck. It's just going to be bring a plate.
Is there a schedule of all of these activities somewhere?
There is a schedule of all of these activities. It went out in the e-blast on Friday. So it's there in your email. It's also in the Friday video update that I posted. Yes. So the days and times are Saturday the 14th of this month. I believe that starts at 6. That's the singing and potluck. That's next week. That's next Saturday. This coming Saturday. In 6 days. And then the Sunday worship service is at 10 a.m. on Sunday in 7 days, the 15th. The Tuesday event is Tuesday the 17th at 7 p.m. That's the one that we'll be looking at the hymnal. And then the Thursday night worship service will be Thursday the 19th at 7 on the patio under a tent. Tuesday in person. These are all in-person events. Yeah. Any other questions? Tuesday the 17th is what? Yes, it's called Hymns Under the Microscope. So Kimberly has been pitching a book idea to the denomination, looking at the hymns in our hymnal, both the ones that have aged well and the ones that haven't. The Gray Hymnal was published the year I was born. So there are some hymns that have really stood the test of time, and there's some that have not as well. And so we're going to spend some time talking about that and really interrogating some of the language that exists in that document. 7.
Scripted or not, I nominate Judy to be our permanent resident.
Stand-up comedian?
That's right.
All right. I think that's my cue.
Yeah. For those of you that missed that, Tim just nominated me to be a permanent stand-up comedian. So, oh, yeah. Thank you. All those years in the theater taught me how to curtsy, kind of. All right. Thanks so much. This is awesome. It's really good to just have a conversation about this church and how it works. So Lori Stratman will be running the town hall next Sunday at 11 o'clock. So if you have questions that you didn't get, if you get in the middle of the night and you think, why didn't I ask that question? Come to next Sunday's town hall. We'll try and answer it. And then our congregational meeting is on the 22nd at 11 a.m. That's Sunday, May 22nd at 11 a.m. Thank you all. Have a great Mother's Day. Enjoy this beautiful day and the rain. Bye.